Oseo.
Oseo.
Cherokee greeting. Wave the great feather for the good of it. Oh, buffalo. Continuing with the buffalo. And right away, here is what I'm saying about it. Elohi, that's the Cherokee word for the earth. The earth is the principle which sustains the individuality of each being. And it is embodied in the buffalo. Thus, buffalo is the specific ground of individuality, whereas Mother Earth is the common ground of all existence. Yeah, hey. The buffalo is the ground of our apprehension of here, this place of how I know who I am here. And so saying that the buffalo is the principle of sustenance. Oh. So let's look up here at the buffalo. This is, I'm having this here for my summer buffalo. So, there we go. With the dry summer grass. So that'll get us started. And then if you can go over here, I want to show this piece, start off. This is my creation of Buffalo Woman. And here, below her, here is a buffalo horn. And coming out of the buffalo horn, this is the buffalo's tail. This would be the aspergill. If we had water in here, we would dip the buffalo's tail into the water in the horn and sprinkle it on our holy things, and like that. Continuing from last week, I'm going with the buffalo who never dies. So, and over here, you can come over here, this illustration here of the buffalo who never dies. The buffalo who never dies is the alpha male of the buffalo people. Down here in front of it, here is a wonderful folk carving of a buffalo animal, and the animals have evolved from the buffalo people. So that's the relation here. And how did the buffalo who never dies come to be the one who never dies? By the way of Holy Man. And this is my portrait of Holy Man. This is a pretty old Navajo sand painting, and as far as I know, I think exceptional, or maybe even rare. And so, to say something about that, you come back to me. The word holy is an English word. It's derived from Anglo-Saxon a long time ago. Halak meaning happy or wholesome. Its deeper meaning, its root meaning is more meaning unimpaired and inviolate. And that's been translated into holy by way of the Navajo, the way I'm putting it. Because in Navajo, Digi is going to mean not susceptible to corruption. And so holy man is Dini, meaning an incorruptible Navajo. A fuller meaning is in the Lakota Wakan. Wakan, yes, it means holy, and it means sacred, and it means spiritual. It also means something, anything, or anybody who is strange, inexplicable, unknown, mysterious, and so forth. And so I showed this last week. We come down here to this ammonite. The ammonite is Wakan, and the buffalo is also Wakan, because the buffalo is strange, is mysterious, is different. And as my dream showed me last week, this is called a buffalo stone because there is some very mysterious affinity between this fossil stone and the buffalo, so that we can see how that comes about. So back up here to holy man, which is the easiest way to say it. Holy man is also a medicine man, but a medicine man with really potent spiritual powers, but still a medicine man. And he is also has another part of him, and this is up here. This is called monster slayer. So he's both. And the Lakota is the easiest way to say it. Unma Wesha na Wesha Zuya. Of the two, one is a man, the other a warrior. So they both, in the stories, kind of exchange between each other. Some of the exploits are monster slayer, and some are holy man. Monster slayer is being called that. Nage Nezagani is his Navajo name, meaning he slays monsters again and again. And exactly who the monsters are, I'm not sure what defines monsters other than they're prehistoric. And in the Southwest, especially Arizona and New Mexico, there are many strange geographical rock formations and so forth. And these are looked at as the remains of these monsters, their bodies, or the lava flows, or their coagulated blood, or a heap of flint is their bones, these kind of things. So when we look around the Southwest at all of these things, we are seeing, the results of monster slayers' battles, exploits, with these monsters. Holy man and monster slayer are born from changing woman, so they're parthenogenetic in one sense. In another sense, they also have a father, the sun, who figures in that. So monster slayer's name can also mean to descend from the sun. And so the sun figures in a lot of this. In fact, in this portrait of Holy Man here, these are turquoise ear strings that his father, the sun, gave to him as a gift here, because he's also called the firstborn. So we can also say of that. And here his kilt, this is very interesting to me because it's yellow. I don't usually see yellow used this way, and it denotes, something very beneficent, safety and peace and good things like that. As a property for a sand painting, it's made from a rock that's called the intestines of the monster. So the monsters figure into this a lot. And here in Holy Man's body, this is a bow. The bow is the symbol of his other self, his warrior self, monster slayer. Here, you can see that here. And here, this is a cane, a black cane. So this is very interesting, and this brings in something else. Here I have a replica of this long black cane. It was given to him by Spider Woman. Here's Spider Woman up here in a feather. She figures very much with the feathers, and in this case, why she gave Holy Man this long black cane was in exchange for feathers. Holy Man had also made friends with the eagles way up in the sky. And so she knew that, so she asked him to procure for her some eagle feathers, I think like down, in order to renew her life hoops or feather hoops. That's what this is over here. So this is a life hoop or a feather hoop with downy feathers on it. And also she said that she adorned the walls of her house with these. So that's how it came about that he has this cane that's figured here in his painting. Over here on the other side, this is to figure as a buffalo hide rattle that he's holding. And the necessity of the buffalo hide rattle in the medicine chants is for restoration. All this has very much to do with restoring life here. And up on top of his head you see this is the straight lining, that little straight hook, that is a symbol for restoration. And then he has the eagle feathers. And also interesting here, he's wearing wristlets. And these wristlets are made either woven rawhide, or here can come down here. This is woven buffalo hair. Vivian Olds wove these. So there's two of these buffalo hair wristlets, which are figured here in Holy Man. He also has down here feet guards. They guard his feet, that are made of leather, like buffalo flaps, a bit like spats, to protect his feet here. So you get a whole scene of this here. Here on the other side, this is to symbolize a whistle, a reed whistle. Throughout the many ceremonies, a whistle is almost as important as the rattle. A whistle that's actually blown. Here, in relation to Holy Man, the whistle is also Holy Man's mind. It's his mind as he travels about, like that. And so, Hachiche is the name of it's called the whistle god in English. So it's both, an actual whistle that the Hatali will use on a patient, or here, mythically, definitely figures as an incumbent part of our myths here. Over here, this is a wonderful picture of a feature. There it's in the Southwest, and the Americans call it shiprock, because that's what it looks like to Americans. To the Navajos, it is actually cliff monster in English, or in Navajo, say nane, naneli, naheli, see naheli, meaning he throws against the rocks. It's a monster. It's a monster that was subdued by Monster Slayer. And to the Navajo, it looks like an eagle, a poised eagle. And also, in the Navajo lore, eagles derive from here. The eagles come from here, like that. In the bout with Monster Slayer and this monster, the monster, as he typically did, whoever his prey was, he lifted them way up in the sky, and then he would drop them down onto rocks where they would splitter or splatter, and his family would be down there, and they would lunch off the remains of these victims. In this case, when Monster Slayer was hoisted up there to be dropped down, Spider Woman over here somehow conveyed to him her life feather, and her life feather saved him from that demise, which he in turn ended the life of the monster. So this is a very significant piece here. When we lived in Arizona, we were friends with a Navajo family called the Yazis, and Lonnie Yazi drove us around. Only a Navajo can drive you around that country. Anybody else won't make it. And he showed us, these different formations, different things, what's going on there in the Navajo world. And here, how I've learned about this one here. And all of this is to convey something for the Navajo and for the buffalo. Now back to the buffalo who never dies. Here we're back here with this guy. Holy Man, or maybe it was Monster Slayer, his other self, one way or the other. He really had a habit, like Coyote, of going places where it's advisable not to go. And he'll go anyway. He'll say, I can go anywhere. One of the reasons he felt he could go anywhere, he had a mascot on his shoulder. called Big Fly, and Big Fly can go anywhere. So as long as Big Fly could stay with him, even if Big Fly said, "I wouldn't go there if I was you," he'll go. So, so that's what he did. He went into the world or the country of the buffalo. So they are, a strange country of people, but they saw him as a stranger. But there were two buffalo women, one older, one younger. They liked him. They liked him, and so they gravitated, towards him. And well, that upset somebody, and that upset the buffalo who never dies, who's not yet who that is, because he's the alpha male, and these two female buffaloes took up with this stranger like that. So what happened is that then this alpha male, he got riled up and he decided to put an end to this stranger. And he rushed at him, and kind of like a toreador, he would miss and run into a mountain, and that went on 3 or 4 times until finally on the last charge, this male buffalo is charging, and he's sure to hit his mark this time. And right down here, this is a feather wand. Can you see that? This is a feather wand. This is the feather wand that holy man had, and he hit that buffalo with that feather wand, and that buffalo expired. And along with that, since this buffalo was the life of all the buffalo died. How about that? They all died. Well, holy man didn't really realize that that's what was going to be the consequence of that, so he was sitting down and feeling sad about that. But these two buffalo women, who are now the only buffalo still alive, you realize, like that, they try to console him and saying, if you had enough power to end that guy, then you must realize you have enough power to bring him back to life. And so he took that in, holy man took that in and saw how he could do that. So that's where the medicine man comes in. He put together the right herbs and the right songs, and did all the good medicine man things to do to restore somebody back to life. And so sure enough, this buffalo came back to life. So the adage is, first not mine, original mine not first. You had to die to be the buffalo who never dies. And so he did come back to life, and he said, okay, you win. The two buffalo women are yours. But then what about the rest of the buffalo? Well, holy man said, now you touched that buffalo, and so forth, to each one to another. And so down here I have this photograph. This is Vivian Old's photograph of the buffalo up north. And here you go. One, each, two, to another. And this is the way the buffalo were being restored, and are being restored, because I'm putting all of this in the present tense. Well, I don't know really that maybe somewhere hidden up in Canada there still is some wild buffalo. But most of the buffalo now are all under supervision of some kind. So that's how I'm bringing all of this about. And I want to show this drawing of mine here as Feather Woman, since we're going to say that the feather in Native America is ubiquitous. It's for everything. So this is Feather Woman here, as much as for Spider Woman. Her house she adorns with feathers. Oh yes. So I'm going to read a piece here. You take a look at this here. This stands for the buffalo moon, and buffalo moon, wolf moon. I've been saying buffalo so much. So this is going to be my last piece for this talk here. It's self-explanatory. This is called Coyote. That's the Cherokee name for wolf moon. We are leaving the summer and are at the beginning of fall. We move more solidly into the time of the adult. The adult is a harvest of maturity, and this is the time of year when we come out of the child's playfulness into something more developed. We are noticing the shorter days as we leave the power of the sun and enter the lengthening of the nights, the power of the moon. This is the time of waning sun. We are moving away from the influence of the male and closer to the influence of the female. We are moving into the time of equality. This is the time of equal days and equal nights. Wolf moon people are drawing more toward the female, and as such will have deep insights and intuition to offer. Wolf is the animal totem for this time of year. Wolf is a very strong power. It is the teacher and the pathfinder, the being that shows the way. Blue turquoise is the element of wolf moon. It is like looking into the earth's spirit. Turquoise brings clarity and is a great healing stone. It purifies and cleanses, a cool shower in a mountain stream. For inciting, it helps you dive deeply without fear. So, on to the surface, to the maturity of the west and the nest of Thunderbird and the maturity of the adult with a clear and balanced view of the future. Woo! I can say, as Cherokee, I am also of the wolf clan, actually. And with the turquoise, we can take one more note to look over here at Buffalo Woman, and right below her is a turquoise buffalo. And this is also the beneficent function of Spider Woman. In anyone, like Holy Man or Coyote, who are chosen, it means a person elect, into them is what the turquoise buffalo. And it is Spider Woman who weaves that lines that secure that turquoise in place of the person elect, making such a person free from fear. Okay.